sure the details.
Big expectation. Mr. Chibuzor, I think specifically your own is not for the program, it's for this particular session of this program, plus 3 more. So, and the person, one of the key persons that is making this possible, I believe some of you met him on Saturday last week, and he has actively been putting things together just for your good, just for your success, not just for the program or the courses you're learning. It's going beyond, to ensure that you apply, you have the necessary skill, the necessary tools to excel. Permits me to introduce no other person than Mr. David. A round of applause for him.
Father Marcos, ever since the reputation I've been trying to recover. I'm still trying to bring back myself, but the energy, the enthusiasm, the courage, and the audacity to be here gives me that strength to wake up and say, I just have to be here. So I want to thank all of you for coming. Specifically, I want to thank you who came very early, and then you had to hang around and look forward to the going. Thank the volunteers who made the arrangement to be possible. I want you all to know who they are. A couple more volunteers. As a matter of fact, we need someone who is good with social media management to join our team. And I don't know if we need people. So please, the volunteers, you can just come out so that everybody will know you. So that if somebody calls you and tells you that they are volunteers, you should know that this person is telling you the truth.
And I am volunteering as the NITDA Programs Manager. Hello everybody, good morning. My name is Emmanuel and I'm a volunteer for Dahel Techies. I'm volunteering as the product manager. So, thanks.
Good morning everyone. I'm Christopher Baby. Volunteering for Boston. My job is that morning everybody. My name is John Walker. I want to say follow emails, social media, accommodate.
So the truth is, when I started out in Perth, I studied mechanical engineering. My journey has been a very interesting one. My dad ran a company back in the day. He has his own company. So, this African mentality of you want to make your son your apprentice. So, because I'm his only son, he was like, okay, come and follow and do this work. So I started mechanical engineering. My very first place of working was, of course, this company, and then I worked with the technology incubation center. And then I started seeing small money. Then I fell in love for the first time because of that small money. But something happened along the line. I discovered that, in the process of working as a mechanical engineer, I don't know if any of you, did core engineering. Where I was working, like you have to sign in. From when you sign in to when you sign out, you are talking with machines, right? we're building all types of machines in that place. It's a technology incubation center. So if the government wants to maybe empower farmers or small businesses, to get machines like maybe grinding machine or something like that, they will always come to us. It's a really, really large program. So it was a lot of work. And talking to machines every day, you are making designs, you are cracking your brain. The next company after us, they were producing soya beans and soya milk and things like that. So that one became my lunch almost all the time. So sometimes we will mix garlic with soya milk. Sometimes we will just eat the soya milk like that. So it was fun. But something inside me wanted more. I wanted to interact with people. And it played out because I didn't know anything about human beings, basically. So as if after maybe years in school, I just jumped into work. And I was a mess. Some people still see me as wrong. Always top of my class and things like that. My parents were not strict as you must be always top of the class. But my parents had a very funny way of informing me. One of their best methods was never to pitch me against my classmates. They never for once, and this is something I've learned from them. I discovered as I grew up that I needed to, make them proud in my little way. So after feeling very well with confidence in my primary school days, my secondary school days I started receiving small sense, and then ended up as a prefect, and then went back to school. But again, I was lacking in that human interaction. And I'm sure that Mr. Chibuzor will be talking more about this soft skill. Because I was spending so much time with technical skills, I told you guys, I fell in love, or small children love those days, infatuation. I wanted to be a gentleman, buying things and give my girlfriend, we pray together, go to church together. I didn't know that what I wanted was not what she wanted, and there was no way we could have that kind of communication. So there was a lacuna in our relationship back in the day, and I didn't know it until we fell apart. You'll get it within days. I always have my boss coming to the house to pick me each time he has those projects. We got a new project, come on, you just come Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, and I was so eager to go. Cover that lacuna. I had to tell my dad, I need to do it again. So I now left the technical skill environment. I now went and registered for another program for humanities. So that was my journey. Mechanical engineering, philosophy, psychology, education, EBU. Then, got a job, I got sponsored, traveled. We went for all those 1 week virtual or in-person meetings and conferences. The last one I attended before I was selected by the US for the Mandela Washington Fellowship was the Fundraising Intelligence Conference. I think that was sponsored by my organization. And I discovered over the years, and then I came back to tech, of course, when I was in the development space for over a decade. I discovered that where I am today is not really because I'm so good at coding or I'm so good at, I don't know, all the things that people think tech guys are good at. I discovered that perhaps 20% of what I am, really, 20% of what I know, coding is like 20%. The technical skills is like 20%. The others, from your CV to how you talk during interviews to how you convince people that you are good. For those of you that are guys here, there's the way you feel so confident. You like you like someone, you just walk up to the person. All of a sudden, everything really in your brain just disappears. paper. I went and met my senior prefect, brought out this thing from my basket of law episode. And there are also other times that I left where I was to a particular place just because I dared to ask for help. Not because I dared to ask for help. For those of you that were at the orientation, remember when I was talking about, when I was earning 18,000 naira, right? And because I lost relationships along the way, I just couldn't meet up financial obligations. No, this guy, this is below, far below your level. I had to ask for help. And the moment I asked for help, in fact, the person I asked for help was even very angry that I didn't ask for help earlier. So thank God that you are reaching out to me now. I beg. There's one opportunity in Abuja. These guys don't want to open their headquarters here in Nigeria, and we have been looking for someone. That was how I got that first international job, right? And that was also my first experience working with the Dutch, the Germans, outside, right there in Abuja. So what we are going to be focusing on today is we are going to take you through the journey of how you can sustain communication alongside those technical skills. Trust me, if you know so much about the technical skills and you cannot communicate it, whether your CV, your LinkedIn page, wherever, you're wasting your time. Then one last thing I'll say is, before I show you something, one last thing I'll say is, there's one woman that reached out to me 2 years ago, and she was like, the husband is so skilled with Python, is so skilled, she listed a couple of things. But then she would say she was tired of always being the one providing at home. And she confided in me that she wants to help the husband out. And one way she felt to help her is to connect him, to help him, is to connect him to a mentor, someone who has been successful in the field. And I said, no problem, just feel free, anytime, connect me to your husband, let's help. So I appreciate him for, making that call, because, some African men will not, they wouldn't want that type of help, especially if it's coming from their partner. So he reached out, and the fact that he reached out means that he was also interested in getting out of wherever he was at the time. So when we had a call, I asked him questions like, what are your skill set like? And he mentioned them. He mentioned all of them. And I said, okay, where have we been applying? So he mentioned the places he's been applying. I asked him, okay, can you send me your portfolio? That was where I discovered the problem. So he was now asking me, what is portfolio? What is portfolio? I have my CV. I say, okay, you have your CV, send it. Then he sent it. Then I said that, do you have a master's degree in data analysis, or do you have a PhD? Do you have a postgraduate degree? Then he said, no. I said, okay, good. Why do you think that if I want to employ you to come and analyze data for my business, why do you think that I will be more interested in this CV than I will be interested in what you can actually do for my business? Right? For those of you here, ask yourself that single question. Assuming you want to employ someone to help build your business, are you going to concentrate on that paper called CV, or you are going to actually want to see if that person can help you build your business? What would you choose? Like a businessman. If you are applying to any company, ask yourself, why does this company need me? If you are able to know that, then whether it's your CV, whether it's anything you are sending Now, you will talk about that single story. So encourage them. All the projects you think or you think you know, put them together in a portfolio, right? And make sure that you have a big talk with that. So I'll show you something. But before I show you that thing, those of you that don't have a LinkedIn page, I avoid fellows that are attached to Dahel Techies. If you want theory, right, just today and in fact the only exercise-driven sessions you will be having, you have some exercises with Mr. Chibuzor. You also have exercises with other mentors you'll be meeting virtually or offline, right here. Okay? How many of you have a laptop? You have a laptop, yes sir. Right. So what we do is someone says they run the cyber cafe. Okay, you run the cyber cafe. Like you will actually go the business. So we can see after this session. Then with the help at Protect to make sure that we have access to the laptops. And we'll try our best to help with internet. Like some of our volunteers have Wi-Fi or MiFi. This Wi-Fi or MiFi, right? So we are going to be using that for training. Or you people don't want it? Huh? So please connect with me on LinkedIn. That's the point. In the hope of connecting with me on LinkedIn, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you'll be prompted to open one. Also on Facebook, on Twitter, at Dahel Techies _ at Dahel _Techies, that's on Twitter. Okay? On Instagram, Dahel _Techies, so that you can follow some of our updates. First, you should work on your digital footprint. If you know you are quarreling with your wife or your husband and you are looking for a job, don't go and talk about your quarrel online. Quarreling with your wife or your husband, don't go and post it online. If you are a student and you are looking for a job, don't go and talk about somebody that did not pay you salary. Don't talk people about your past employers online. Nobody, I'm telling you. Even if it's me, I go online, take your profile and you're talking shit about some other person, I will not want to be the next victim. Because your mind is too set, right? So look at that, look at your LinkedIn, okay? Making sure you have a good LinkedIn optimized. Number 3, we are going to look at, okay, I hope you have all followed Dahel Techies. So this is our, see how this my guy fine, so Chibuzor. He fine pass me very small. So it's already here in our midst. Happy that he's here before but he will be contacting us from Detroit or Michigan. I just want to show you what that means. And it's the sample of one of those who help our students to build a portfolio. So this is a profile on GitHub, and I'm going to just let me see on this. So those of you that are very good. How many of you have a GitHub profile? How to compile some of your projects on GitHub, and then the website for free. How good you are. Again, this is not part of the curriculum. You could check the courses. There's nothing like how to do the portfolio. Alright, so this is very important because nobody has asked me for my degrees myself. Okay, as a Microsoft certified trainer, I need to show my certification if I want to have access to certain audience. But when it comes to work, I remember telling you guys when someone called me on a Friday, I think I mentioned that on Saturday. Guy just called me when I am half sane. You know, when you are dancing and having fun, one serious call just comes. And I told him that, please, let me just step out. I went into my car, locked. They produced the apple inside, and I was inside the car answering serious questions. Just asked me questions about Power BI instantly. You know, then we went to VBA and macros, which not necessarily so many people get to use. Asked me what is the theme, you know. And I was able to answer the question without needing to. This was a call. So there was no laptop. I couldn't even put on speaker because the noise at the background would be, you know, I have to answer everything on call. And he was busy, you know, asking me those questions. So we hope that by the end of your training, you will be able to be placed in such positions where if someone calls you today, we talk about or ask you questions about product management and cybersecurity or any of your trial, you should be able to, you know, talk about that. So with that, before I proceed to talk about your curriculum, with what we are going to be talking about or teaching, I would love to invite Mr. Chibuzor to come on board. So, I think I need to read the profile.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much. How many of us here were here on Saturday? Me at the venue. Thank you so much for being here today. I know my time is very, very limited. I want to make sure and make the most of time because we need to do some very, very important group exercises. So, soft skills development professional, and we're going to have a very wonderful time here today. So before I begin saying anything further, I want us to do something and pick a paper. If you think it hide it, just pick one on inside right there. Don't open it to I'll ask you to come. Just pick. So this is my technique. I want to read this. Let them see what you picked. If you open it, you messed up. Open your pick from here, please come forward and do your data. We're going to do it again. It's a competition. And we want to see who is winning. Either group A or group B. Good. The papers you picked are the names of animals. Now, your task is this. You are not to describe the animal by the sound it makes. Neither are you to describe the animal by its name. You are only to describe the animal by its features. We want to see how good you are in describing things in a way that can really evoke people's memory. No name, no sound. Alright, so turn around, look at it, turn around. Oh, no, I mean him. Let's start with the cover it. Now, I would like you to come over here. Now, this question is to Ruby. You are not going to describe the animal in your paper. No sound, no name. You have 30 seconds. 30 seconds to respond. If you miss your 30 seconds chance,
Okay, the animal on my paper has a trunk, has a large body. Elephant.
correct.
Yeah.
Please, whatever about us for cooking. Okay, 1-0. Good day, you are louder.
No grill.
Okay, so let's start with you, madam. Turn around and check the name of the animal. Okay.
The animal in my paper has a tail. It has 2 hind limbs and 2 forelimbs. It has a tail.
Kangaroo.
You have 10 more seconds.
It has 2 hind limbs and 2 forelimbs.
So with A, you have.
Good morning, everyone. It kind of a stripe, black and white.
Is that it?
Yes.
If you don't let it, you go be seated. Okay, madam. Let's number.
I'm not reading that.
Okay. The animal here is a flying object, it's a flying animal, and it has a very nice feathers, like
A lot of applause for the lady. This is the last one.
Good morning. This is an insect. It has brown feathers. Most of these things is structural.
8 points. Don't let them see it too. Just cover it. And if you see it, you cover. Okay.
What I have here is a bird and many colors. It has many colors. It's a bird. Yeah, because I'm not like that much. Go. Yes.
Okay, so let's look at this. I would like one person from here and one person from here to give us feedback. The lady in blue.
Difficulty in communication.
In what?
Clarity in communication.
Okay. Discover that at certain times, even before the description is done, an answer comes up. Why do you think that was so?
Clarity in description.
Clarity in description.
So let me say that we have what we want to say in our minds, but how to express it in very clear terms is important. And sometimes, even as we are expressing it, we think we're expressing it well, but we're not expressing it well. This is the major cause of disputes, frustration, quarrel. And that is why when we talk about communication, people think of, oh, communication is something I know, but there is a lot to it. So this is like a note. I don't have pictures or images. I don't like using slides. Skills, this is just a note for you to know what the topic is about. But skills training usually involves hands-on exercises. That's exactly what we're going to do for most of the time. I pray that I'll have enough time to do what I need to do. This training typically should be a 9-hour training. Yes. But I'm trying to compress it to make sure that we are able to maximize the time. So in my notes here, it says communication is the art of transferring understanding from a sender to a receiver to create and expand commonality. You are transferring understanding, meaning what I have in my mind, I am able to send it to you so you know exactly what needs to be done. That's what communication is. Communication is not just about talking. It's not just about I say this, you say this. It's about exchange of understanding, so that there is a commonality. We both have similar understanding of what we are talking about or doing. There are a few other things. I'm not going to really go on the notes. You'll definitely get the notes eventually. So I'm going to go to the main gist of the day. Mind you, I don't have a lot of good exercises. So if you don't like talking today, you will talk. So another description here says communication is the ability to effectively express oneself. It includes active listening, knowing how to reach your audience, storytelling, making a case, and professional communication with others. So under that professional communication is what we call crisis communication. I may not have the time to go into it, but that's high level. You see some of these celebrities who are involved in scandal. Some of these big companies that, let's say, there is a kind of crisis around their products, and people are going on social media to say, hey, I use this product, it wasn't good for me. I use this product, and they employ a crisis communicator to help them craft what to say. To give these people a lot of money. A lot of money. So you discover that sometimes there could be a scandal around a celebrity and they don't say anything. It's because their crisis manager has told them, don't say anything yet. They study the psychology of the situation and look at, first of all, there are lots of things involved. So I'm not going to go to crisis communication today. But I just have to mention that under professional communication, there are others too under that category. So it says modes of communication, including listening, verbal, non-verbal, and written communication, all falls under this large umbrella of communication. And our goal for this class, for this session we're having this morning, is to help us effectively in spoken communication. Because some of the things we'll say today will also help us in written communication. Very important. So there are three important components of communication. Without these three, there is no communication at all. And what are these three? The first one is what? I'd like us to sing it together loud. 1, 2, go. The next one. And the next one. Understanding the audience. So we're going to start with the first one, presentation. And the exercise we just did now just gives us a clear picture of what that is. Before we go into it, there's something you must know. Communication, just like every other skill, requires practice. So it says here, learning a skill requires practice. To learn effective communication, it is important that you adopt a mode of learning known as reflective practice. So I'm going to explain that. To know your communication skills. Reflective practice is a way of studying your experiences to improve the way you work. It is the ability to reflect about your actions so as to engage in the process of continuous learning. So here is what reflective practice is. You practice the skill, and then you review what you did. And then you look at the areas where you did well and the areas where you didn't do well. And then you decide to improve upon the areas you didn't do well, and you do it again. That's what it's called reflective practice. That's what you did during so. When your brother was teaching you, you said, okay, use the machine, do it this way, you did it. And then you took a break, and then you told me, okay, you did this part well. You didn't do this part well. You're not paying attention to the area you didn't do well. And looking for how you're not making on ways to do better next time you're doing that. That's the same thing we're going to be employing as we are practicing this. So we go to the first component of communication. It means to communicate an idea to an audience of one person or more persons. Presenting an idea or concept goes beyond words. That's key. It's very key there. A lot needs to be considered. Take care to observe the following rules when presenting. Now, let me say this before we go into the very key points on being an effective presenter. Psychologists say that a significant portion of your communication is non-verbal. A significant portion. So I want to prove to you that that is absolutely true. So I say to you, good morning. And then I say to you, good morning. Did you notice the two?
Yes.
It's the same good morning, right?
Yes.
But is it the same communication?
No.
What is the difference? Facial expression. So, ideally, that person I say good morning will be seen. Even if you've never met me before, you feel obliged to respond good morning. And that second time, good morning. You're asking yourself, what is going on? It's good morning, not good morning. It's how I say it. So you see that how we say things matters. And that's what presentation. You have a customer who you've learned product management or you've learned what else. Customers are going to come. Amen? Amen. Whatever skill it is. And they are still with you for the first vibe of this person is not welcome. This person is not friendly. Several persons who have had businesses that involve having a sales girl or sales boy, we always note the difference between a very, very expressive and friendly salesperson and one who is arrogant and very cold. The sales are not the same. The sales are not the same. And one of the things I said on Saturday is that technical skills will give you a job. Soft skills will give you a promotion. You will remain at one spot. They will not promote you. You say, I have first class. I have first class. Someone with third class will be promoted. That's how that is. It's not fair, but that's the truth. That's the truth. You know. So in presentation, there are some very key things you need to know. You can put them down, but you're definitely going to have this note. First one is use appropriate, very memorable language to enhance the effectiveness of your central message. So we're going to analyze those three words there: appropriate, vivid, and memorable. Now, using the appropriate word means I have to make sure that I pick a word that best fits what I'm describing, so that I don't exaggerate or undervalue what I'm talking about. So, for example, there's a job notice, and the job notice, it says we need an account. We are looking for, this notice is for an accountant. We are looking to employ an accountant, and he must be male. So, with that, you know that if you are female, it's a no-no. And then this lady says this, and says, this company is misogynistic. Misogynistic. Now they have what they've done there is that they have exaggerated the situation. Yes, you can say they're discriminatory, but you can't say they're misogynistic. If you look at the word, they could be discriminatory because they don't have the money to employ a woman who would get pregnant and then go off for 3 months. Because if you've employed someone and the person is off for 3 months on maternity leave, you've got to pay. You get what I mean? You're going to pay. So maybe the companies at its early stage, they're like, we don't have that money. It's better for us to employ a male. So you see, I just had to use that as an example because many times we find ourselves in situations where we exaggerate. So exaggeration could also ruin things for you. And also using the wrong word could underplay the value of the thing. So it's important to use appropriate words. Vivid, that means it's very clear. Very clear. For example, when you were describing the animal, when one of you said the animal has black and white stripes, what came to your mind? So this is how your brain works. Your brain is an enormous computer with so much memory. There is so much in your brain that you can imagine. So much. And so when someone is standing before you and is saying, I'm going to talk about an animal, your brain already now begins to do, within nanoseconds, begin to sample animal. So it goes away from house or car or other things it might think of and goes to animal. Then you're guessing, what animal? Different animals are flashing in your mind. And then the person says, the animal has 4 legs. Your brain will swap off birds, insects, fish, every other thing, and now center on 4-legged animals. And then you say the animal has a tail and a few other things. Your brain is now, you talk about data science and everything. It's now taking the others away, and now centering on, hey, what's the next thing that will make me pick? And now say the animal has black and white stripes. You just go straight. No, it's simple. So you also have to know that when you're talking to people and saying things to them, that is what happens to their brain. The brain is trying to guess, what is she saying? What is he saying? What's going? You say, get me water. And the person is thinking, is it cold water? Is it room temperature water? Is it hot water? And then if the person, because most, especially children function with their subconscious. And their subconscious will always speak what they are used to all the time. So if they're used to giving you very cold water, they will just go to the fridge and get you cold water. Or if you are used to hot water, they will just go to the kitchen to get you hot water. You know, sometimes you send someone an errand and you say, the person is supposed to know what I'm sending you. There are no assumptions in communication. So my wife's sister is a fashion designer. She makes some very incredible clothes. People from different parts of the world order her clothing. So my wife wanted to make pants, trousers, and her style is usually palazzo. So this time around, she told her sister, make me trousers. Make me trousers. Now she has palazzo, she also has the normal style of trousers. Somehow, the sister just made her the ordinary trouser. But what she had in mind was palazzo. But she didn't tell the sister, make me palazzo. She just assumed, you made me this straight trouser. I told you that palazzo you did for me the last time was fine. That's what did you tell her to make me palazzo? So you see, you have to be vivid, very clear. Very clear. That's very important. And then the next one is memorable. So if you hear that lady in a red dress, it stands out in your mind. Stands out in your mind. You see, these things we are saying here about communication is what advertorial companies do. They have just 5 seconds to advertise and they capture your mind. They have 5 seconds to make sure that their message is appropriate, vivid, and memorable. And that's it. Look at Indomie. There was one time, let me not bring Indomie, let me talk about hair. How many of us know Lush hair? Do you know their adverts? Do you remember their song? I spent much time ago watching TV at that time. So almost every day their advert was coming. So the time then I was also watching the song. I was saying, seriously, Lush hair don't really. So, and that was it. I didn't say Lush hair. I just talked about the two. And it took our minds to Lush hair. So you see, the memorable language here talks about people have a point that can stick in people's mind. Okay, so I wrote down something here. Use of adjectives to effectively describe what you have in mind. You could also employ metaphorical or allegorical terms to pass your message across. For example, if you read the Bible or you read through the book of John, you see Jesus using parables. Did you notice that with Jesus? The sower did this. There was a shepherd. You know why he did that? He knew that the kind of people who was speaking to, they were agriculturists. They were people who were doing business. So he would use things that they can relate to. And then after telling the story, he will now hit it in the head. Communicate concisely and with clarity within a given time limit to relay a message. You have to know that you don't have enough time to say what you need to say to your customer, to your client, to your boss. So you have to be as concise as possible. So on that interview, have you ever met someone who spent a disproportionate amount of time explaining something when it could have been done in much less time? Has that happened to you before? The person is beating around the bush, beating around the roundabout. Talk now, tell us what it is. No. And it's not that there's how our elders or our grandparents used to talk. When they want to tell you something, they'll tell you a story or a proverb. That's a different case. This one, they will just be telling you different stories that don't connect, and your brain is already exhausted. You know why you're exhausted? Because your brain is already trying to run the wall. What are they going to say? What are they trying to say? Brain is going like this, and it's going like this, and it's going like this until you like anchor. And then you get exhausted, you're like, what's the point? So it can be really, really frustrating. It's important that you say what you need to say within the given time limit. You're going to do some practice here. So better take note of this point because we're going to practice. Next point, employ the appropriate body language by maintaining good eye contact and proper standing or sitting posture. Now, if you go to a workplace and you find either the sales representative, the sales rep, standing like this. They are not disabled. They are not disabled. They are standing like this. Just standing like this. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome to this meeting. What would you think? You think this person is not a serious human being? That's the truth. Or you go to a place and the salesperson, let's mention a company like, mention one company, one respectable brand. Fidelity Bank. Okay, the Fidelity Bank staff. The person in his mind has been doing who Fidelity Bank, great bank, etc. Then your staff is thinking, you are welcome to Fidelity Bank. How may I help you? Body language. Body language. So, how you carry yourself matters a lot. How you carry yourself matters a lot. So, your body language communicates so much about who you are. You have to really pay attention to that. Another very important thing, eye contact. This is very good. Now, the reason why we give eye contact when we speak to people is to let them know that we are connecting with them. We are listening to them. That we see them. I'm not talking about the eye contact. I'm not talking about the neck. If you don't know neck, you are still small people. Let us say the you know, they're looking at you like this. And they have to do one. That's very kind of eye contact we're talking about the Fidelity Bank. We have some products here for you, and we ask you what is the problem. No, so we ask you what is the problem. I know that there are certain cultures where people are taught not to look elders directly in the eye, and they go up. It's not a good thing. Not a good thing. When you move people, you see that you go to they will look you. They will look you. So if you go to talk to the good person and saying, my name is Senkerowen, I am, you are looking at the person talking to you standing here. I am the this kind of person everything. So maybe try it, practice it. Practice it, maintaining good eye contact, very, very important. Body language, don't slouch. I do this all the time. Parents used to I've been doing skills development for years, for about 12 years now. And parents used to, hire me to spend some time with their children. They pay my ticket, pay my hotel. I could spend like a week training the children, maybe during holiday. I collect the money and that will come back. But one of the things I tell the children is practice, make this a part of it, don't slouch. It's not in good posture. It doesn't speak well about you. Subliminal. There's what they call subliminal communication. It's unconscious. People just speak it unconsciously. If someone finds you slouching, it speaks of maybe the person is not in good health. Maybe the person is lazy. Maybe the person is not properly coordinated. Maybe they don't snatch dreams. But that's what the people get. So when they tell you square your shoulder shows that you are confident. Practice it. It's very, very important. Squaring your shoulder, standing well. It's what they call without hair. It's very, very important to practice that. So the next thing, the next point here says limit gesticulations so you don't distract your message. Now, in body language, we use our hands. Using of the hands is important. It's an unconscious thing. Italians are the worst with using hands. You really find an Italian who will talk to you without using their hands. It's as if your hands are their mouth. But the downside to that is you will distract people when you are gesticulating too much. So everything in moderation, but gesticulation is also important. Okay. So I have given this example. I don't know why I highlighted it. Okay. Still that body language, I was talking about the smiley face and the angry face. Next sponsor says use an appropriate tone of voice which makes you sound enthused and confident. Tone of voice. Many of you may not have heard of voice training, but there is such a thing called voice training. Speakers undergo voice training, actors undergo voice training, voice over artists undergo voice training. I would encourage you, if you don't like the way you talk or the way you sound, you don't need to even go to voice training coach or voice training school to learn that. You could listen to someone you love, someone maybe you love the person's voice, listen to their tape all over again. There was this American actor that was the first black person to win an Oscar. I forgot his name. He died, I think 2 years ago. Very respectable, respected that man so much. So the man was from the Bahamas, and he had a very strong Bahamian accent. Very strong. And one thing with America is, if you are to integrate well in America, if you have a very strong accent, an ethnic accent, you can work against you. So don't blame some of our brothers who go and speak of don't blame them, my dear. Because they are trying to integrate. Well, you don't really need to sound that way, but just make sure that you can articulate what they can hear. You understand? But people do that because there are certain actors that have moved from Nigeria to the US will tell you that they have lost certain roles because of their accent. So this actor had a very strong Bahamian accent, and he wanted to be an actor. He was going to train yourself, and appropriate tone of voice is very important because as Nigerians they used to say that we shout a lot when we're talking. My dear, you see my pastor, brothers and sisters, they all aspire. You see that? You don't just say brothers and sisters, they are as well. When shouting is one enemy, if the people come out to hear them, they wash their face on and cry. So imagine you're on the phone, you want to speak with the person who has called you. Yes, sir, it's an enemy. How can I help you today? So, tone of voice, very important. For example, our ladies here that are married will agree that, or maybe you are in a relationship will agree that one of the things that endear them to their husbands or their partner is maybe all the sweet talk over the phone. When men want to talk to a woman, the voice will change. What is so? Even if you have it changes. So we go to the next component of communication, which is
Active listening.
no, we're not going there. We're going to have an exercise before we go there. So we're going to have an exercise. So here's what we're going to do. And if you have plain sheets of paper, we will need plain sheets. I forgot to mention this to you. We need paper. Do you have paper? Do you have paper there with you? Okay, good. Just keep it on standby. Here is what you are going to do. I would like you to turn your chair this way. Let the person sitting beside you be your partner. Just turn it facing the person. Anyhow, later we will arrange you under the communication word of the first intervention that you should take note of. Within the given 10 minutes. No, sir, I wanted to say something, but it is not passing. You don't say what you said. Use your time wisely. Next point. We want to see you practice all of these things. Next point. I didn't get that one. Oh, and the next one. Oh, good. So we're going to practice all those factors. So I usually like to do A and B. Both of you will decide who is the A. So in this case, The other person speaking will be speaking, and the other person will listen. Your job is to observe if that conversation, that presentation has these elements that we have highlighted here. Yeah, good. Yeah, no, so. No, so. Yeah, I have to bring up something that everyone likes. You would say, you can bring up mathematics or physics. So you are going to wait before you begin. You are going to talk to your partner about your favorite meal. You don't need to know the details. Just say, oh, I like it prepared this way, I like it prepared this way. So your time starts now. 1 minute. Bring down your voice to lose the concept. Thank you very much. All right, come your seats back. A male and a lady here, a male and a female here. Let's listen to your partner talk, present. Did they do well in presentation? Now, no hard feelings, so don't say they did well. They didn't do well. And then you yourself, that they are giving feedback, they're giving feedback about your presentation. Don't say, she said that I did not do well. Say, or you say, I'll wait for you outside. Accept the feedback in good faith. All right. Anyone? Just tell us, how was it? Break the person whom you were speaking with, who was talking to you. Was the presentation good? Did it have those points we listed out? Tone of voice, body language, being very descriptive with the adjectives. Okay.
Like her body language was good, and then she was confident. But I noticed that she was gesticulating too much, like making signs too much. That's what I noticed. But she spoke with confidence and she was getting.
We're in the same WhatsApp group. I did an interview. I think it's on YouTube. I like talking a lot with my hands. So I sent it to my friend in London. I said, oh, see this interview I did from this university. I was expecting, great interview. I said a lot of sense in that interview. You know what I mean? He said, you were gesticulating too much. Like, bros, what nonsense is that one? Alright, so it's something that we can consciously handle. It's not much of a problem. Alright, Emil this time.
While communicating, I was listening. She was able to maintain eye contact, so I wasn't distracted. But she took some time going into details, explaining her favorite meal, which was fried rice and pepper soup. Both with pepper soup to be precise. And then, for the body language, she was not using the body language, but for the words, I was.
Body language also includes facial expression.
Okay, facial expression. Yes. Yeah, she was using the facial expression to express how exciting the meal was to her. So that was what.
Did you feel like eating the food?
I felt.
All right. So let's start from here.
Her favorite soup would be, that's what she called it, would be, okay. So from her presentation, she made use of literary devices like simile. She tried to relate it to something I know, and then her body language, I would say, was on point, but she gesticulated quite much, and then her tone of voice. After we were asked to speak,
did the gesticulation distract you?
At some point it did.
It becomes a problem if it's distracting, but it's not a problem if.
Yeah, I was actually being intentional about listening to. There was no slouching, but judging from the environment, I think she could have raised her voice a bit more so as to get someone like me who doesn't know about the food. So on a scale of 10 is 8.
But did you, the description of the food she made, was it enticing? Was it enticing?
It showed that there was so much excitement from her end, but it wasn't convincing.
Okay, Okay, now feedback is feedback. Hello. Okay. X for giving her the talent now. This is skills training. She's just pointing out where she can do better. Do you understand? That's what it's about. No hard feelings. We'll hear from a male this time. The same men don't like talking. But now lie. Okay.
We have a similar view. So, let's go. So, my partner, unfortunately, is not here, but I will tell something from her. She convinced me a lot by her special expression. So, yeah, to a point that and our demonstration was okay because it goes in tandem and consonant with the way she was speaking. So, and she used coconut. When because she blended a word and a demonstration to get in touch with it. I was able to listen the right thing as
Alright, thank you so much. So we go to the next component, active listening. This part is very important. So we say here that active listening is called active listening for a reason. This involves paying close attention to the verbal and non-verbal communication cues. So there are very important points here. And you know, these detectives in the police use this skill to catch liars and people who are not, maybe who are trying to evade the truth. I think women should know this. For example, if someone is lying to you, you ask the person, what happened on Monday, 12 noon, when I was not around getting the shop? And you keep quiet. It's not me. I did not steal anything. I did not steal anything. Don't interrupt the person. Just keep staring the person blind. You know what? The person, in the person's brain, the person begins to think, this one that the person is not saying anything. Maybe they know. I mean, they've seen something. And so now the person begins to go further and further talking in order to cover their tracks. In order to cover up their lies. You get what I'm saying? Now begin to talk. See people, that's what police people used to do. When they ask you questions, they will allow you to talk. They will not interrupt you. Say everything once. They are taking note of the things you say. Then another time, they will call you back again and ask you those same questions. When there's a contrast in the two stories you're telling, you'll know that there's something not right. That's how they catch criminals. If they could catch a group of persons, question them differently. But you know, back to what I was saying, when about staring someone, don't interrupt them. Did you or did you not? No. Just allow them. Talk. So you said you were not here. I was not here. You can go. In their head will be. Watch the person's behavior afterwards. They say guilty conscience, yes, no waiting. So, active listening, and as the persons are responding, you're also checking their body language. Checking their body language. If someone is truthful, there is a bigger way. I know there are expert liars. Yes, sir. But if someone is telling the truth, somehow, to a greater extent, you can tell. When someone is telling a lie, somehow, to a greater extent, you can tell. But when it comes to finding the truth, don't talk too much. Don't interrupt them. Allow them. So there are a lot of points we're going to get out here that's really going to help you. In active listening, learn to ask effective and clarifying questions. This enables you to gather relevant information in order to obtain a comprehensive understanding about the problem. Ask effective and clarifying question. Someone says, go and buy me Panadol. I have to ask, is it the normal Panadol or is it Panadol Extra? What variant from Panadol do you want? Asking clarifying question. Everyone says, hey, it's Panadol Extra that I want. So you send a child, go and buy me Panadol. It's actually Panadol Extra you had in your hand. They say, go and buy me Panadol. And the child goes to the pharmacy. Give me Panadol. They give the child ordinary Panadol. I said, you this stupid child. I said Panadol Extra. You never said Panadol Extra. If that child knew how to communicate effectively, the child would have asked you, Mommy, Daddy, is it the normal Panadol, the basic Panadol, or Panadol Extra? So if your client says, I want to build a website, you have to, you are someone who is a web developer, you know the different packages. You know what I mean? You have to ask them. I would like to understand what are the features you want on the site. Do you want this? Do you want it? Do you want this? Do you want it? You know, ask the refined questions. And that is how you get the people to open up to share what exactly they have in mind. So, if there's an example, you say, for example, if you meet a gentleman and a lady at an event, and they tell you that they are a couple, it does not necessarily mean that they are married. I hope you know. If someone tells you we're a couple, it doesn't mean that they are married. It doesn't mean that they are married. That's how gossip blogs will say, this one and this one, their X and Y are married. Because that's what they call yellow journalism. Yellow journalism is the kind of journalism where people do not ask deep questions. Just surface. Sensational. So it goes further to say it doesn't necessarily mean that they're married. It could mean that they are in a romantic relationship, or they just decided to be each other's plus one for that event. You will only know if you ask. So the right thing to do, if you need to know, guess what? If you need to know, not that you are able, but if you need to know, the right thing to do is to say, let me need to ask, are you both married? So it says, this is how rumors can be avoided, by active listening and adhering to the facts. With active listening, what you are looking for is the facts. The facts. Alright, so we go to the next one. I'm not going to explain further on that. Do what? Are we looking at, okay, is it too small for you?
Kind of.
Yes, kind of. Okay, no problem. It says, don't listen to respond, listen to understand. How many of us here have listened to respond? Someone is talking to you. In your mind, you are just cooking up what you're going to say. You're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. That's a very bad thing to do. That's really, really wrong. Give close attention. Give close attention. Listen to the person. Is observing the speaker's body language. Let me say this for example. If you see your colleague, you come to class regularly, and then you say, let me say your name is Rosemary. Rosemary, good morning. And Rosemary answered, good morning. Now that's not how Rosemary responds. Now ask, how are you? I know. Now they're saying I'm fine, but you know that from the body language, they are not fine. You understand? They are not fine. So in active listening, you are looking beyond what the person is saying. You are looking at what their body is saying. Because what your mouth is saying will be different from what your body is saying. Let me also give you another example. I'd like to use this. If someone is talking to you, this is a primal instinct that happens to people. People do it unconsciously, but they don't know. If you're sitting before someone, sitting before you and okay, let's just say you are the person sitting here, and this is the person who is listening to you, and the person keeps their leg like this, their body is facing here, and they are listening. They don't want to be in that. They want that meeting to end. They don't want to be in that conversation. Their body is telling you what is in their mind. But they are saying, oh, really? Oh, that dress? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. In their mind, they're like, she's going to finish talking all the rubbish she wants to talk for 5 minutes, so I need to. But you know, so pay attention to things like that. If the person, not because there's no space, you know, there could be no space in the place and the person is talking like this. There's different things. There's enough space, the person is facing like this. They don't want to be there, so allow them to go. You know, and then another thing too, when you are listening to people, don't be on your phone. They are talking to you. The customer is telling you, I'll need you to do this, okay? 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 Checking Instagram. If someone did that to you, how would you feel? This person is not paying attention to me, and this person feels that what I'm saying is of no value. And that's not what you want. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to pay attention. If someone is, you're talking to someone, or you're talking to someone and the person is not giving you attention, the person doesn't want to give that conversation. So those are very important points that I've listed out. We're going to do a practice right now. So turn your chair again. This time, I think you should get someone else. Okay. Do we have a male and a female here, and a male and a female here who has something to say? To judge your listener. Okay, start with you.
Okay, my listener was actually active, attentive. He was listening, and for me, he asked the necessary question, like trying to get the reaction from the persons around me when my significant comment happened. So for me, he listened well and asked active and clarifying questions.
Did you feel like talking more?
Yeah. Yes.
Good. Let's hear from.
She listened very attentively, and she asked the right questions. In fact, her question from them more, what they told me. And then, what else? Yeah, her question was very clarifying, straight to the point. So that was like, when I tell you to talk more. So I enjoyed talking because she was actively listening. And then the eye contact was there.
That's let's say from here.
I initially was expecting to see a shy lady. You know, at first, most of the time, when you're speaking with a lady, you notice that they will be shy initially, and the brave ones will try to catch up later. But she was focused from the beginning, and at some point, I was almost getting shy.
The shyer the one is shy.
So we spoke, and I felt I had the urge to go on because she was concentrating and she asked very clarifying questions.
That's wonderful. I want to say this before we hear from the lady. I'm doing an escort, a female escort. You know, in America, everything is a business. Everything. Even Babalawo, their office. When you walk on the streets of New York, LA, Chicago, some of these, even the cities like Charlotte or small cities like that, you will see they get all these palm readers, they have offices, book appointments, $50 per hour, all of those things. So the same thing with prostitution. So this lady is an escort. That's the name they call it. They won't call it prostitute now. They won't call it hookup girl. What is that? I'm an escort. Yeah, let's make it polished. And they're called high-level escorts because you have to be learned to work in that. There's an agency managing them. So the people needing this kind of people are top business people who fly them first class So the man could want, okay, a weekend in, maybe a weekend in Puerto Rico and need someone to accompany. Fly business class. Yes, and the pay is good. The pay is good. $10,000, $15,000. Sometimes for just one night. And so this female escort who has had years of experience in this set, one of the things she said that was very striking was that many times these men don't ask to sleep with them. All they want is someone they can talk to who can listen. That's all. The man will talk about war, talk about marriage, talk about things that the wife will not even have time because their wives are busy shopping and doing other things. They will not have time. So the lady will sit down, be so empathetic, she will sit down and be listening. Oh, don't worry, kind of pampering. And with that, he will sleep. He will make sure he sleeps well. The next day, signs her a check, $15,000. She's gone. It's not a good job, Nigeria. It's not a good job. So here is the point. A very top personal development professional said that if you're a very good communicator, your earnings will definitely increase. Knowing how to communicate effectively and being a good listener is one of the key things you need to have to succeed in whatever career. Now that's a prostitute who knows good communication. See her check. What if you're a good data scientist or whatever field you choose under this trade and you're a good communicator? Imagine how far you can go. I've been paid $1 million at once, at different times, for a project of let's say 2 months. What was my job? Talk. Hello, how are you doing? Like counseling, talking. You say, 1 million. There are people who are willing to pay. How much is 1 million, sir? 1 million is $850. So, this is very, very good point, and this is why I started with communication. And I want you to take it very seriously. Because my time is very limited. As I finish here, I'm leaving for another session, and then I'm coming back for part 2. We go to the next point, which the third component of communication is understanding your audience. Understanding your audience. Understanding your audience. So here is something I'd like you to pay attention to. Listen, it says this. Imagine walking into a class of 3-year-olds or 5-year-olds and speaking to them about the 4th Industrial Revolution and cryptocurrency. I did not allow her to speak. Okay, please, I'm so sorry about that. Imagine you go to a class, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, you say, children, I want to talk to you about the 4th Industrial Revolution. You know, that happened in the 1900s. Please, let me ask you, my dear people, after having that presentation for 2 hours, what do you think will be the outcome? I want my money! That's what you will see. So it says here, definitely you will be wasting your breath and your time speaking to a group of persons who only care about nursery rhymes, ice cream, plus their parents. However, the moment you begin to sing a Baby Shark, you know Baby Shark song? You know that song? By that time when you were talking about 4th Industrial Revolution, you guys talking nonsense. The other one, Papa Pro, all those like that. That's where Spider-Man, that's what they want to hear. It says that you will win their attention because that is something they are familiar with. But I want to say this. Have you ever had the experience, especially in women? Let's say you are at the airport, you're waiting for your flight. And the lady sitting beside you was like, I like this your hair. And then I got this girl from Dubai, people have started talking. And then in the course of the conversation, you discover that she is from your village. Same school, like federal government girls' school. So I'm like, oh my sister, where have you been? People just met. Different spirit, that connection. In communication, understanding your audience is a very important element. If you want to connect with people, find something similar that connects you to them. They just, she She understands our vibe. And then you are selling a product that is targeted at them. They'll understand your audience or listener in order to communicate something that they can understand and connect to. Maybe the person you're speaking to does not know Queen's English. They send you to a village to go and give sensitization on HIV. Go and speak, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to speak big grammar. Big grammar, like that senator that was at the Senate. You remember that senator? That will speak big English and will end up clapping for the senator. Ask us, what did he say? No, but he talks sense. What is the sense he spoke? We don't know. So, if you go there speaking big English, the villagers won't get what you're saying. They can't connect. But if you discover these people, they are not very educated, they just need basic pidgin English, you use pidgin English. Communication is not about speaking big English, it's speaking something the other person can understand. That's why you see in NTA, so people would say things like, NTA should be speaking Queen's English, like channels and Arise. You know why NTA is not going to have news people that are speaking Queen's English? Because the regular Nigerian does not speak English like that. Regular Nigerian doesn't speak English with British accent or American accent. We have Nigerian accent. So they'll bring the one with Hausa accent. The federal government announced that. That's the one we can hear. Or those, that's what they do. News channels make sure, we say corruption. News channels make sure they pick people who have the accent of the locals there. So you have to make sure you bear that in mind. When someone is tired, that's not the best time to sell your product or to tell them to do something for you and slap them. Wait till they are settled. Check the person's emotion. Check the emotional climate of the person's mind. This is a good time to say what I want to say. And several other things involved. The last one, before I round off, says you aim to create a positive connection and rapport with your audience by finding and discussing shared interests or values. So let me tell you something that happens when you meet someone for the first time. When you meet someone for the first time, at the back of their minds, there are two questions that they are asking themselves. It's a subliminal question. They are not consciously asking themselves, but it's just ringing in their mind. And those two questions are, can I respect this person? Can I trust this person? If the answers to those two questions are yes, yes, there's a connection. If it's a no, there's no connection. So make sure, in understanding your audience, make sure you present yourself in your communication in a way that they can respect you and they can do what? Trust you. That's very, very important. So I'll bring my class to a close right here. There's a big exercise we would have done on press time, but it wasn't possible. Now, I want to talk about my book briefly, and I'm traveling about 70 copies on demand. And some that I'm also selling to an organization in Uganda. So this book has all the soft skills: communication, adaptability, resilience, empathy, cooperation, everything. In fact, this note is gotten from this book. Dahel has given you 50% payment for this book. So round of applause for Dahel. So which means that if you need a copy, now I'll be engaging with you online. This is like, this is the first face-to-face session I'm going to have with you. Next time will be in March. To have those sessions really makes sense. It would make a whole lot of meaning if you read the material and then you come for the online class, where you can throw questions. Because you see that time is very short. It's available for 3,500. If you need it, contact Mr. David. It will help you a lot. A lot. It's in Michigan State University's library at the moment. So if you need it, contact the volunteers. And I've left a few copies that I could leave for those of you who will need it. So I will run now. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry we didn't have enough questions, enough time for question and answer. Thank you so much.
you so much, Mr. Chibuzor. Yes.
I would have loved to ask certain questions, but because of time, I would skip that. So, we don't have time. I can create time for you. Okay, so quickly, we just run through it because we have the other sets. We've been waiting the next month, March. So it's going to be virtual. So prepare yourself. Get the book. Very important. They already Dahel has made it available for us by taking away the burden and paying 50% for the book. A round of applause for Dahel. So please make sure you get it because it's going to be discussing all the classes we'll be having from now with Mr. Chibuzor will be based on this book. And he expressly said that when he's having those classes, he just wants to answer questions. So you have the sole responsibility of going through this book and coming for the classes to inquire or to clarify yourself. Another thing I would just like to add is that we are in need of volunteers. We still need more hands to help the work. So we are in need of volunteers for the different track. So if you know you are a team leader as much as you're a team player, you can collaborate, you pay attention to details, you know how to organize. We are looking for team leads for each track. So especially you're volunteering for your track. So we need 2 persons for each track. We have data analysis here, right? Product management and cyber security.
Please, I know that some of you to attend to another event. Someone invited you for another event, and it's coming right back for the next session. So I want you guys to let's have a group photograph. You are going to have at least 2 sessions in a week. The first session, I'll take you guys through your curriculum, right? It's hands-on training, right? And you'll be having weekly assessment. So what we are going to be doing as a firm, Dahel Techies, we're going to have a prototype. We are going to build on that prototype. For instance, we are going to say those for product management. You will have a meeting and rejuvenate about what you think this product, the features this product will have. Then you pass that idea to those in the UI UX class, and then you make the interface, you design the interface, and you pass that product to those in software engineering, then you code the interface. And when you are done, those in software, you actually have like maybe 2 groups. Code the interface and then you give us the website, right? So that at the end of your training, when you see whether it's a prototype app or you are seeing prototype software, we are going to build a website from scratch, this program. Then you know that at the end of the training you have actually done something. So when you are pushing out your portfolio, you know that you, from idea phase to implementation phase, you are part and parcel of the project. And that's one of the fastest ways you can even get a job in the tech space. So one thing is, product management, we are going to be meeting 12 p.m. every Saturday. We'll be having 2 trainers. We've already met Mr. Patrick, Effiong, and then there's another person that will be working with him. Okay? And he's a product manager. We will also be having a virtual session. So we'll be inviting people who are actually making money and using their course to make money in different fields. So I'm going to be inviting them once in a while. Okay? So that, remember when I talked about objective. The objective is right here, is to get a job. You have to target your questions towards that aspect. You have to make sure that you ask questions that you want to get a job, questions that target your job search. If you need certifications, whoever is going to be your mentor or trainer, you must make sure that you ask questions that target your responses to those issues you may have. So Saturday, product management, cyber security, 10 a.m., very, very on time. Or there's also another hall we can use. and we try as much as we can to please, I don't know, maybe we are going to meet outside. We need to meet outside and have your data so that we know those who are going to come on Saturday, those who have a laptop. We don't waste money to get laptops or rent laptops, and at the end of the day, you don't show up, right? That is going to be very encouraging. Thanks so much. So, from virtual assistant to someone managing our social media and things like that, and also have the contact with us. So we are going to meet product management. Please stand up. Product management. You want to volunteer to lead your team. You are aware of the learning platform. We're supposed to show you something about the learning platform as it is today. We are going to do that in your next meeting with us. And we are going to connect with you in the WhatsApp group. Right? So if you have any questions, we are going to handle it outside. We are going to. Thank you. Sit down. Cyber security, please stand up. Three trainers. So two of them, one will meet you virtually. Please come out. So we are going to meet this. Okay, so this is your right. You can drop your name, we'll contact you and see how best we can work with you. Being a team lead for a project like this is a very important one. You don't really do it. Do we have another UI UX? Okay, so the same thing. You want to volunteer to the team. You are very lucky because the person who is going to be training you or who is going to mentor you is actually working with all school Africa, right? You're going to be offline, you're going to be online. So we're hoping to get someone who volunteers to work with us here in Calabar. Actually get to know what the UI UX design is all about, how we can build all of those designs and things like that. So now let me just I'll use the UI UX guys to give you an example. So this is a list of the topics that you are going to be having. Right? One, we have your assessment. For instance, in week 1, you are supposed to create user personas for a well-known product. Again, we are going to have a prototype product, like a prototype where you are going to be working with. So we have week 2, and you are going to have all of this. So you have basically 2 or 3 levels of mentors. The first, you make sure that you get your hands-on assessment and project on point. The other would help you to make sure that in your in-class activities, you actually know what you are doing. Okay? So please, if you are coming to the training on Saturday or during the week, depending on what we are going to fix it, right? You can actually have access to asking more questions, how to you can. For those of you that want to move from one course to the other, we had a meeting and what we were told was that you should write an email to either any of the platforms, whether it's Product Guide, whether it's 3MTT, whether it's so you could write to support at 3MTT.training, request that you want to change your course. To bring all the people that can hack your phone if she wants. The pastor here was worried about phishing attacks. So she's a very young person, as you see, but she's also very incredibly talented in terms of cyber. You've heard of cyber girls, you've heard of confidence and the amazing things she's doing. Please, let me say this too, because we've not had to budget. Sometimes I will use my own money to maybe pay for snacks and things like that. If you have any health issues, right, before you even sit down, please come and tell me. I'm very serious about it. If you have any health issues before you sit down, and those with children, please pamper them. Once in a while, volunteer. Just come and massage that small. Are you okay? You can get some water and things like that. I appreciate that. You know, conscious. There are some videos I wanted to show you for today's event. So I will do all the things. I prefer to have my money. Who are going to be here? So there's a technology for that. this Google whatever. I'm sure some of you can see this. So this was a project we had with Effiong. So there are some of those. So some of these pictures too. This was a project we're working with young children. In secondary school. They're trying to build some low-level robots and farm intruder systems in NITDA. I see that when I was in secondary school, who asked me to have access to that type of learning? It was either one physics man coming to teach us calculation or chemistry. It wasn't always this level of engagement. Students having to build projects and build things. If you have access to teach your kids or expose them to those levels of training, that would be really working through. Something like this that checks your car to see whether you have low oil or you have low whatever. It's no longer a movie like some of you have been seeing. These things are already in vogue. The next thing you need to do is how can you be a part and parcel of the technology in the technology space. Thank you so much. Please, you have to get a bottle of water. If you need water, that is, if you must drink water. If not, you must drink water. You will tell any of the volunteers to get you just a bottle. But if you can survive, please keep it for another person. One last thing I want to say, if you know that you have snacks, biscuits and things like that, whether you want to come share with your colleagues or you want to come sell it, please, I will encourage that strongly, okay? So that if there was snacks here, I would have just maybe bought it for some of you. But that is how I want our students to begin training themselves. Support each other, help each other. If there are questions in the group that you can answer, you ask. If you need any assistance whatsoever, if you want to hop on a call with someone to teach anyone anything, and you maybe need money for data or whatever, you can just reach out. We can organize that so that you have that type of peer-to-peer learning experience. Okay, it's part and parcel of the curriculum. And again, did you guys learn anything? If you learned anything today, stand up. All right, don't stretch yourself. Round about time.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shadrach, and I'm a fellow in the 3MTT program. Today's in-person class was really interesting, especially we learned so much on communication, and then I've learned so much on how to effectively communicate. And one of the key things that I learned today for effective communication is that I need to be a good listener for me to be able to communicate. And then to whoever I'm talking with too, it's also very much important for me to use simple terms so as to be able to capture the person's attention. And then good eye contact is also something else that is also very important for me to communicate effectively. In fact, today's program is indeed an insight into the many other things we're going to be enjoying during today's program. I'm currently a fellow under cybersecurity. I hope to learn so much from the program. It's really a privilege for me to be a part of this program, and then I also hope that in years to come they will also incorporate more persons so as to benefit from this event and from this program. Very grateful to Dahel Techies, those who are spearheading this training. It's really indeed a privilege and to work alongside with them. Thank you.
Okay, good day, viewers. My name is Hope Tedu, and I'm a fellow in this 3MTT program under the provider of Dahel Consultant, and I'm a UI UX designer. I've learned so much in today's program from the communication skill. I bet before now I really do not know how to communicate so well with people, but after this program today I have learned a lot, and I think from the way the facilitator talk about our gesticulation, eye contact and everything, I think I've learned, and I will try to implement them next time I'm talking to people. Thank you. And I also want to say a very big thanks to Dahel for this organization, for organizing such a big opportunity for us to take part in this program. I just want to say thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angela. I'm a student of your product management. I learned a lot today. I learned about communication. And in the communication, I learned about active listening, how to listen to my audience in order to pass out a product to my audience. I learned a lot today. And I also want to thank my own product managers. Like my appreciation goes to Dahel Consultants for giving me a wonderful opportunity to be among these product managers. As I say thank you to Dahel. I also thank the federal government, the 3MTT, for giving me this opportunity for selecting me among the fellows. Thank you all.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adie Emmanuel Ngugwaye. I'm a fellow in cybersecurity, and we commence our physical training today with soft skill being the topic, and under soft skills we were taught communication, and it was an exciting moment, all thanks to our training provider, Dahel Techies, and in particular Mr. Chibuzor, who took us on that course today. All thanks to the federal government for giving us this opportunity and selecting us as part of first 30,000 to be in this program. I'm grateful to the federal government and Dahel Techies. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bilkisu Alisani from the unit Product Management. Today, under that training, I have learned a lot under communication, how to communicate, how to actively listen, and then make responses to customers. Thank you very much to the Dahel Techies. Thank you very much to the federal government for making me a selected fellow to learn under this 3MTT. Thank you very much.
My name is Basi. I thank God for giving me this privilege to be in this wonderful training. So I offer cybersecurity as my course. So today we are mostly based on communication. So one thing I pick up in today's lecture is that our lecturer was really telling us that communication is not just passing information, but communication is ability to inculcate understanding to our listener. So I take that as a very big wow to me. So I really use this as a privilege. So I appreciate Dahel being the consultant and also the federal government giving me the privilege to do this. Thank you so much.
Hello viewers, my name is Nancy Ayuk. I'm a fellow of the 3MTT program. I was selected to undergo the training on product management, and I am under the training providers called Dahel Techies. Actually, throughout these programs, I have learned a lot. Today we had an orientation and we were taught communication for public relations. I really learned a lot because before I thought communication is just talking and listening, but communication is more than just talking and hearing what somebody is saying. We had a training and we were pointed out to discuss, communicate for proper understanding. And as you can see, my son is disturbing me. This program is not just for single persons. We have nursing mothers, we have married women, pregnant women undergoing this training, and we want to say a very big thank you to the federal government for giving us this opportunity to learn and gain a skill. I also want to thank the Dahel Techies, the providers in Cross River State, for picking up this initiative to help us undergo this training successfully. I hope to gain more insight on this project and help it and use it for my own financial independence. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Samson Nikbi. I'm a fellow under the 3MTT program by the federal government. Today we had soft skills and we dwelled on communication. We spoke a lot concerning communication because communication is very important, especially in the tech industry. How you sell your product, how you receive customers and stuff. So I'm very grateful to the federal government that they found us worthy for this first batch. And I want to thank the Ministry of Communication, the 3MTT program, and the service providers in Cross River State, Dahel Techies. I want to say I'm very happy, I'm very lucky to be a fellow. Thank you very much.